Imagine a wrestler who's mastered the mat, crypto, then tiptoes into the boxing ring, stocks, while a referee, Congress, argues about whether headgear should be allowed. That's Coinbase right now. It's trying to broaden into stock trading. It just stepped away from a big crypto bill that might have constrained stablecoin yields. And CEO Brian Armstrong is simultaneously soothing Washington and selling the strategic idea that Coinbase will win by taking measured, well-engineered steps. The Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, aka Clarity Act, hit a snag after Coinbase publicly withdrew support over provisions that would limit stablecoin rewards and potentially ban tokenized equities, a move that delayed committee action and roiled markets. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong pushed back on media speculation that his firm is in a meltdown with the White House. He said the White House remains super constructive, even as a single sticking point blocks progress. Coinbase is rolling out stock trading slowly and deliberately. Armstrong admits Coinbase is late to stocks, but he frames it as a feature. Build it right, integrate it with crypto rails, then scale. The Clarity Act kerfuffle. What's at stake and why Coinbase walked away? The Digital Asset Market Clarity Act was pitched as Congress's attempt to give the crypto industry clear rules. Who's regulated by the SEC, who's regulated by the CFTC, and whether tokenized assets like securities or stablecoins get special treatment. Sounds useful, right? But the devil lives in a dozen granular clauses, one of which is a proposed limit on stablecoin rewards, paying yield to users simply for holding a stablecoin. Coinbase and others argued that such a restriction would gut important consumer products and make US-based crypto platforms less competitive. More alarmingly for tokenized securities fans, the draft text risked effectively banning tokenized equities in some forms, and it could restrict decentralized finance primitives in ways that would be hard to unwind. After wrestling with the text in the days before a Senate Banking Committee markup, Coinbase publicly withdrew its support, saying the bill as written was unacceptable. That pulled the rug out from under a scheduled hearing and sent markets repricing expectations. Why does this matter? Because stablecoin rewards are not just a nicety. They're central to how crypto platforms compete and how some users get yield. If the law were to forbid giving yields to customers simply for holding stablecoins, many business models would need to be rethought. That's why Coinbase drew a hard red line. Critics accused Coinbase of political grandstanding. Supporters called the move an attempt to stop a law that might have done more harm than good. Either way, the legislative path is now bumpier. By the way, if you are getting some insight from the content so far and want more like this, like the video, it means much to us, or hit the subscribe button and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. Armstrong's super constructive comment. Calming the water, Public Relations 101. When a big company withdraws support for a bill and a Senate hearing gets delayed, the phone lines between CEOs and Washington light up. Reports of a rift circulated quickly. In that environment, Brian Armstrong's public comment that the White House has been super constructive serves three purposes. It reduces panic. Markets dislike binary outcomes. Armstrong's tone suggests negotiation, not warfare. Preserves political capital. Coinbase must keep lines open with regulators and lawmakers. Saying the White House is constructive keeps doors unlocked. It reframes responsibility. Armstrong signals that Coinbase wants a viable law and will keep talking. He's not walking away from the policy table forever. That said, public reassurance does not change facts. A single sticking point, stablecoin rewards, tokenized equities design, stalled the bill. Armstrong's comment is useful, but the legislative machine moves at its own tempo and is subject to multiple stakeholders. Big banks, community banks, worried about deposits, crypto firms, consumer advocates, and committee politics. Why the stablecoin yield fight matters beyond the crypto echo chamber. Stablecoins like USDC or USDT are, effectively, dollar substitutes that live on rails where transactions can settle fast. Platforms sometimes offer users small yields for holding stablecoins, either via lending, market making, or proprietary yield programs. Banks, understandably, worry about this. If consumers can earn a good net yield outside banks, deposits could flow out, especially from smaller community banks that don't have the same consumer stickiness. A study cited by committee staff suggested large potential deposit shifts and corresponding lending contractions if stablecoin yields proliferated unchecked. From a consumer angle, yields are attractive. From a systemic risk angle, rapid outflows could pose problems for areas of the banking system that depend on local deposits. That's why the Clarity Act drafters tried to thread a policy needle. Protect banks, but not choke off crypto innovation. Coinbase and others said the needle's eye the drafters offered was too small, so they stepped back. The result? More negotiation, less clarity, and more time before a market-wide rulebook exists. Did Coinbase go political? What withdrawal actually means? There's a difference between lobbying and collapsing. When Coinbase withdrew support, it wasn't necessarily rejecting the idea of regulation. It was signaling, this draft requires serious changes. Public withdrawal is a negotiating tactic as much as its policy principle. That public move created headlines, forced a committee pause, and gave both sides an incentive to talk. But it also amplified political theater. Opponents painted Coinbase as obstructionist. Proponents portrayed the draft as too favorable to banks. The truth is usually more boring. Thousands of legal words, and a need to find compromise. Coinbase stock trading rollout, late to stocks, but building a moat. Brian Armstrong acknowledges it plainly. Coinbase is late to stocks. Could have launched equities years ago, but it didn't. Armstrong frames that timing as a deliberate decision. Rather than rush in for market share, Coinbase is rolling out stock trading in a limited, controlled manner. Compliant custody, clearing relationships, and a user experience that ties into the broader crypto flows. In other words, Coinbase isn't trying to be another discount broker. It's trying to be an integrated financial platform where users can hold stocks, crypto, and tokenized assets in a single ecosystem and could hit $2,100 in coming years. Note this as well. God warns us in Revelation 14:8, 18:4, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Who is Babylon, and why is God calling you to come out of her? Want more information? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this. I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more fervent requests from you. First, like this video, subscribe, and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly inspire me to continue bringing to you relevant information. Do not miss out on our future videos. All I am requesting is your subscription. Thanks for joining me today. Your support means so much to me. Do not hesitate to share this video to educate and inform someone who may benefit. Please do watch the next video, subscribe to the channel, and share something about today's video. Wish you God's protection. Search the Holy Scriptures as never before, for in them is salvation. See you in the next video as we wait upon the Lord.